I am so thrilled to work with each and every one of you. We're going to have a tremendous time through the next 7 weeks. Again, you are in the right place if you're hoping to get fit, burn fat, increase your energy. It's going to be a really phenomenal next several weeks. Again, as we get started, go ahead and make your way to the chat feature, introduce yourself. That is also your main action item for today on our group pages. You have one and only one action item, and that is to introduce yourself. We definitely want to get to know you. I want to get to know you. Feel free to follow me even right now on Instagram. I'm at Amanda Tress. We will post actually an Instagram thread and a social media thread later this week so that we can go ahead and follow you and connect with you across social. Be sure that you use the Faster Way to Fat Loss hashtag as well so that we can encourage you across social media. We have over 700 new clients starting the program today. Over 700. We also have over 600 who are in week 2 of the program, which started today. And then I have 300 ladies in the VIP membership. The Faster Way to Fat Loss has truly become a movement. I'm 100% confident that you're going to see amazing results if you stick with the plan. This initial week can be a little bit overwhelming because I am training you on very cutting edge strategies. In fact, many of the details I share today won't seem intuitive. In fact, you'll kind of say, that's different, or that's actually opposite from what I've heard in the past. For example, we will not be waking up and eating breakfast immediately in the morning. We will be breaking our fast later in the day. We've actually been taught, many of us for the past few decades, that we should wake up, eat breakfast, get the metabolism going. Again, I'm going to be teaching you strategies that kind of go against that norm. And most of you are here because what you've been doing currently or up to this point hasn't been working, and you really want to take things to the next level. Through this call, I'm going to give you an overview of our food cycle. Brandon will chime in as well when we discuss the men's program because he actually leads the men through the men's side of things. So he'll chime in and kind of tell you a few differences between the women and the men's cycle. I will introduce you to our Faster Way to Fat Loss certified coaches. We have Lindsay, Claire, Misty, and Casey. A couple of them are actually on this call right now, so I'll introduce you to those ladies. I am going to share some info and some details about the workouts. I will also run through a list of expectations, my expectations for you as you go through the program. Go ahead and hold your questions until the very end. We're going to kind of tag team at the end and answer those questions as quickly as possible. And then if we end up hopping off at that 35 to 40 minute mark, I'll go ahead and answer some more questions on the group pages later today. And I will be posting trainings through the entire week. So again, I'm going to throw a lot of information out at you. It can feel overwhelming, but just commit to me right now that you're going to take it in stride. You're going to consume the information and do your very best to understand it. But our goal this week truly is simply progress. Our goal next week, where we officially start the food cycle and the workouts, is progress, not perfection. We'll talk about that quite a bit. Many of you are type A. I understand that. I can relate to that. You do not have to get your macros perfect day 1 of the program. You do not have to hit all those sets and reps day 1 of the program. Our goal is progress, not perfection, through these first 2 weeks, prep week and week 1. Again, your only task today is just to introduce yourself, but I would also familiarize yourself with the portal. My assistant did send out an email with the brand new portal that we launched today. We also have that posted on the group pages. Go ahead and log into the portal from your mobile device or from your computer. Familiarize yourself with the comprehensive guide if you haven't already. Go ahead and look through the workouts as well. It's going to be really helpful to do that before we even get started officially with the workouts. I have incorporated several important elements into the Faster Way to Fat Loss program to make it highly effective, and I'm going to quickly run through those elements. First, we do eat the right macronutrients at the right time for the right reasons. And what I'm referring to here is the fact that we are focused on whole food nutrition. We are focused on plants, veggies. We are focused on good proteins, fit fats, good carbs. We also eat those macronutrients at the right time, where we incorporate intermittent fasting on a daily basis. I will chat through the benefits of intermittent fasting in depth. In fact, if you had the chance to look through the comprehensive guide, you saw a few of those benefits as well. And we eat these foods for the right reasons, meaning we are hoping to fuel our body so that we are more energized. We do live primarily a gluten-free, dairy-free lifestyle. Now, the exception to that will be on leg days, where you do see and hear me talk quite a bit about donuts and your favorite treats. So again, we eat the right macronutrients at the right time for the right reasons. Really, really important. The second element that we do integrate to make this a highly effective program is that we lift heavy to develop lean, calorie-burning muscle. All my ladies on this call are, maybe just a little bit nervous about getting bulky. I promise you, you will not get bulky on my program. Okay, this is not a CrossFit program. We're not supplementing with a ton of creatine or additional protein. You will not get bulky, but what we are doing is we're lifting heavy to develop lean, calorie-burning muscle, which is very, very key to increase metabolism. Our guys are going to be doing a little bit more in the way of upper body strength training. Us women are going to be doing more with the legs. We do quite a bit of metabolic training as well, which actually is the perfect transition into the next element that we incorporate into the Fast Way to Fat Loss to make it highly effective, which is that we do engage in both fasted cardio and metabolic training, or high intensity interval training. On Monday and Tuesday of this week, if you choose to test out the sample workout plan, and Monday and Tuesday of next week and all of the weeks following, you will see that we do quite a bit in the way of Tabata. We do quite a bit in the way of high intensity interval training or speed burst training. The fact of the matter is, your body doesn't care how you do this speed burst training or get the heart rate up to deplete the glycogen stores. It just cares that you do. So I give you plenty of options, especially if you haven't worked out in a long period of time. You're going to have the opportunity to go through and pick and choose some of these workouts on Monday and Tuesday when we incorporate the fasted cardio and high intensity interval training. The fourth element that we do incorporate into the Faster Way to Fat Loss, which is maybe the most important element of them all, is that we do maintain the proper mindset. You must develop the proper mindset, the proper disposition for success if you're hoping to be someone who crushes your ambitious wellness goals. As women and also as men, we tend to count our defeats and our losses more than we do our wins. That changes through the Faster Way to Fat Loss. We're going to chat quite a bit about daily victories. I'm going to have you posting your biggest weekly win on a regular basis. Again, whether you're in the guys program or the women's program, we're going to be discussing mindset. Research shows that women and men who are optimistic are far more likely to succeed long-term when they join a weight loss program. So really excited to work with you guys quite a bit on mindset. The final element that we incorporate into the Fast Way to Fat Loss to make it highly effective is that we do try to get enough sleep and rest, and we try to build a healthy gut flora so that we can effectively burn fat. You guys know we just had a baby. We have a newborn, so getting enough sleep and rest is much easier said than done at this moment in time, and I know many of you can relate with that, but we'll do our best. You absolutely cannot get or stay lean if you're not sleeping enough. In fact, I had a gal a couple of rounds ago. She was grinding through the workouts. She was on point with her macronutrients, and for whatever reason, she wasn't losing weight. And we kept going back and forth on email and really trying to kind of crack the code, figure out the mystery. And after maybe 3 or 4 emails, I emailed her back. I said, "How much sleep are you getting?" Just out of curiosity. And she responded, she said, "Oh, Amanda, I'm so stressed. I'm so busy at work. I have kiddos. I'm really only able to get about 4 hours of sleep a night." And I said, bingo, we figured out the mystery. You absolutely cannot get or stay lean if you're not sleeping enough. There's a hormonal issue at play there. We also need to be resting. Again, many of you are type A. Many of you are training for a half marathon, going to Orange Theory, doing insane workouts at home, running on your off days, plus you're trying to do my workouts. That is not positive. We do not want to overtrain because that's going to actually cause the symptoms of hypothyroidism and adrenal fatigue. If you're over-exercising and many of you are under-consuming on macronutrients, something's going to break. And that something is your thyroid. And we don't want you to have a suboptimal thyroid function, which so many of my clients do coming in, because then you're not able to burn fat effectively and lose weight. So we'll be discussing those issues quite a bit through the program. The last issue that we will be discussing is building a healthy gut flora. If you don't have good gut health, guys, you cannot burn fat. You cannot lose weight, and there's a whole other host of issues that we're going to deal with if you don't have a healthy gut flora. So we'll be discussing different strategies, different ways to build a healthy gut flora, including drinking kombucha, drinking bone broth, taking probiotics, the right probiotics. So I'll be educating you quite a bit about those things as we go through the program, which I think will be really important. All right, we are going to do a quick rundown of the days. And again, Brandon over here, my better half, you could probably tell he's a little bit more quiet than I am. I'm kind of the gabber in the relationship, but he's going to be chiming in a little bit to share a few differences between the women's plan and the men's plan. The first day that we do for the Faster Way to Fat Loss is a low carb day. This is where, as women, we aim to consume less than 50 grams net carbs. I will chat with you about how to track your carbs in the MyFitnessPal app, and I'm actually filming a brand new training video for this actually later this week. I might even invite you to the call when I film this training video, because I want to make sure that we're on the same page with how to track those macros. I am switching up just a couple things with this particular round. Really excited about a few improvements. So again, I will be filming a brand new video regarding how to track macros later this week. I might even invite you to that call when I'm just going through the recording and training you on how to use MyFitnessPal. Us women, again, do a low carb day with less than 50 grams net carbs. Net carbs are your total carbs minus your fiber equals your net carbs. So you have to do a little bit of math to calculate those net carbs. We maintain a fairly stable amount of protein through the entire week, no matter what day on the cycle. So low carb day, regular macro day, low macro day, we're maintaining a similar amount of protein, but we will have more fat on a low carb day. Fat kind of fills in the gaps there, and I'm going to have some visuals for you in the comprehensive guide to look at. Low carb day can kind of trip people up in the first week or two, just because you have to do math, which who likes to do math. The pie chart kind of looks weird when you're looking at macros. Many of you haven't even tracked macros in the past, so this is a totally new concept for you. But again, main goal, main focus is less than 50 grams of net carbs on a low carb day. And here's why. Many of us never allow our bodies to be in a fasted state or to be in a state where our glycogen stores are depleted. And so our bodies are never dipping into our triglycerides or fat stores for fuel, which means we're not burning fat. On a low carb day, we are depleting our glycogen stores with both a low carb macro food log, in addition to a workout that includes high intensity intervals, Tabata or speed bursts. We're depleting those glycogen stores so that our bodies can burn fat for fuel. Many of you are here because you want to burn fat. I saw that in the answers when we got started. Many of you want to get leaner. Even if you're already fairly fit, who doesn't want to just lean out a little bit more in the midsection most of the time? So we're going to do that. It's after the holidays. Couldn't be a better time for that. Couple notes about low carb day, and then I'll let Brandon chime in with a few changes that our guys have. Because of the fact that we are just coming off the holidays, and many of you have been eating quite a bit of processed foods. No judgment here, by the way, because I enjoy the holidays as well. Because many of you come into the program, you've been eating a lot of carbs, a lot of processed foods. You might feel the symptoms of detox on our low carb days. Here's what that means. You might feel a headache. Okay, you might feel a little bit nauseous, almost those flu-like symptoms. Don't run to the doctor and get Tamiflu. Let's first address whether or not your body's simply detoxing from the low carb days. We will be doing 2 low carb days in a row, Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday morning you wake up and you're still going to fast until noon, so you might feel just a little bit low on energy. Prepare yourself for that. You also might be slightly hangry. Prepare yourself for that as well. Prepare your husband for that. Prepare your kids for that. If you have the expectation going into low carb days that, okay, my energy might be high, but I might have that headache, I might be having those detox symptoms, it's really helpful to know. Yep. Tell us a little bit about what's different between the women's plan and the men's plan when it comes to the low carb days.
Sure. So the guys will have less than 100 grams of net carbs, so double the girls. And then also we have a third day of low carb. So Monday, Tuesday, and Friday will be low carb.
So our guys have a third day of low carb instead of doing the low macro day, where us women rest. The guys are actually going to still do a pretty intense workout on Friday with a low carb day. Yeah. And then you're still doing a regular macro day on Saturday, which will also incorporate the leg day.
Right. Yep.
But they're also having 100 grams of net carbs, as Brandon mentioned, instead of 50. If you're on here and you're a guy and you're like, you know what, I just want to accelerate my results, feel free to go all in with the less than 50 grams of net carbs. The fact of the matter is women and men have different needs. I have to be very cognizant of female hormones. So we are more strategic about only 2 low carb days a week, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, women need less fuel overall in general and less carbohydrates on those low carb days. But we'll kind of keep you guys in the loop in regard to adjusting the cycle as we go through the program. That was low carb day. We also have regular macro days where we actually look at the MyFitnessPal recommendations for macros. And in general, we're doing 50% of our overall macros are carbohydrates, which is quite a change from low carb day. We're doing 20% of our overall macronutrients is protein and 30% is fat. This might feel like a lot of carbs to those of you who have come to me doing a keto lifestyle, or who have come to me doing Atkins or a similar diet where you were depleting carbs on a regular basis. Carbs are not the enemy. Carbs are not evil. We are going to consume quite a bit of carbs on our strength training days because we want the energy to crush a workout. Also, carbs are really important for us women when it comes to hormone health, when it comes to revving up that thyroid function. So I want you to take these high carb days seriously. We are going to do a total body workout on many of the regular calorie days, those regular macro days. On Wednesday, we will incorporate some leg strength training in addition to upper body. On Thursday, we will do a regular macro day, but we're focused on back, which is actually the second most important day of the week behind leg day. Legs, that's our biggest muscle group. We really want to crush it on leg day, which is Saturday. And this is also the day that we enjoy some treats. I do not believe in deprivation diets. I also believe in eating donuts because I love donuts. They're like my favorite. So we are going to have donuts or your favorite treats on our leg days, which is Saturday. Now, is there anything the guys should know about leg days? Are you only doing a leg day on Saturday, or are you doing some of the legs on Wednesday as well?
Yeah, we're doing some through the week, but Saturday's the big leg day. We're going to do a lot more weight. So. Okay,
perfect. And then you guys are doing more in the way of upper body strength training.
Right.
Is there a certain day that you're doing that?
That's more Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Really quick note about the workouts, because I can already see a few of you are like, oh, I haven't worked out in a long time. We're talking about leg day, back day, and this, that, and the other. There are 3 versions of the workouts. We have an at-home version. I try to make that very accessible for you if you do not have access to a gym. And what I mean by accessible is that I'm not including a ton of additional weights. I'm not including a ton of equipment that you would need. Do not run out and get tons of kettlebells or anything in particular. I typically keep the at-home version to primarily body weight. You will need 5 or 8 pound dumbbells for some of our arm workouts, and then a 20 or 25 pound weighted object. We also have a beginner plan. This is for those of you who have not worked out in a while, or maybe you have an injury that you're nursing. Do not worry about going hard if you are a beginner, okay? I want you to consider what you could complete for the workout, cut it in half, do only that much, and then see how you feel the next day. So if you're coming to me and you haven't worked out in a couple years, or you've never worked out, look at the beginner workout and say, okay, Amanda calls for 20 minutes of cardio on Monday. I could probably do 10 without any issue. Let me just do 10 minutes of, a slow walk or a walk jog and see how I feel the next day. Safety is my number one priority for you. I've been in the fitness industry for 15 years, but I'm here to tell you that also as a nutritionist, nutrition is 90% of the equation. I want you to focus on the food cycle if you're a beginner. Now, if you're coming to me and you're a fellow fitness professional, or this is your second round of the Faster Way to Fat Loss, I expect you to grind. And I'm not going to have much sympathy for you if I know that you could be doing quite a bit in the gym for those workouts. You have the gym access, et cetera, et cetera. We try to keep most of the workouts around 30 to 45 minutes. Wednesday and Saturday sometimes get a little bit longer. If you only have 30 minutes, do 30 minutes of a hard workout. Do not worry about, I didn't get in all the sets or the reps and I'm a failure. And focus on those 30 minutes that you have. We are all busy. We get it. You do not have to tell me the different things that you have to check off your list today. Just do what you can do. Make it count. And then move on with your day. But really excited to give you guys those 3 versions of the plan. I think that's going to be really helpful for you. All right. Couple different notes about some prizes and incentives as we go through the program. We do have a success story challenge. And what I mean by this is I want you to take your before pictures today, take your measurements today, email them to me, info@fasterwaytofatloss.com. Keep track of those measurements, keep track of those photos, because at the end of the 6 weeks, I'm going to have you remeasure. I'm going to have you take additional photos, so your after photos, and I will give you the opportunity to submit a success story, and my affiliate partners will vote on the winners. Everyone's a winner if you've had a success story, but we are going to select one man and one woman to receive a brand new pair of Nikes or Powerbeats wireless headphones. It's really fun to do this challenge. We also have little incentives as we go through the program where we pick winners for $5 challenges based on participation and different things. Little gift cards here and there. So definitely stay engaged in the group page. Be sure you're checking on the group page every day to see when we post those challenges and those different winners. I do want to introduce you to Claire, Misty, Lindsay, and Casey. They are my Faster Way to Fat Loss certified coaches. These ladies are on our group pages. They are answering questions. Of course, I will be on the group page posting every morning, answering questions as well. But Claire, Misty, Lindsay, and Casey will be coming alongside and helping me quite a bit, especially since I have a new little bundle that I'm taking care of here recently. They have been a massive help. These ladies truly care about your success, okay? They want you to thrive through the program. I hire them to help you, so lean on them, but don't take advantage of them. Don't be messaging my girls at all hours of the night and day. Post most of your questions on our group page so that we can answer them there for you. And then tell us a little bit about the Faster Way to Fat Loss coach on your page who's answering questions as well.
Yes, we have Brian Lane, he's done the program a few times with me, and then he signed up to be a certified coach. So he's in my group answering questions as well. So that's been really helpful.
Yeah, Brian is a great guy. And again, we are absolutely relying on our coaches through this time, since we're a little bit sleep deprived and they might have more thoughtful, comprehensive answers for you.
Also some on the West Coast too, so that's helpful.
Yes, our coaches, a couple of them are on the West Coast, so that's really good because we're going to bed kind of early these days. All right, so let's chat a little bit about expectations. Again, just a reminder, more so than an expectation, go ahead and take your before photos today. Take your measurements today. Do not wait until next week, because many of you are actually going to be trying the workouts and trying the food cycle this week, or at least sticking to the list of approved foods in the comprehensive guide. Go ahead and take those before pictures, send them to info@fasterwaytofatloss.com. I will keep them on file. Many of my ladies end up losing the photos or the measurements as we go through this 6 or 7 weeks, so it's nice for me to have them on file as well for that reason. Yeah, what should you wear for that? I would wear a sports bra with some spandex shorts. You could do a bikini if you feel comfortable in a bikini. Whatever you wear, just plan to wear the same thing 6 weeks later. Makes it a little bit easier, a little bit better for that side by side. And frankly, it is wonderful to have those side by side photos so that you can see the progress. I posted a really outstanding side by side yesterday that one of my clients, Susan, had actually sent to me. She's joining this round as well. And it's really cool if you have the same clothes on and you can see exactly the progress that was made, which leads me to my expectation that I do not want you to hop on the scale. You can hop on the scale today if you're dying to know the number, but you are not to hop on the scale for the next 7 weeks. And the reason is because the number on the scale does not give us a good indication of the progress you're making toward your goals. Muscle weighs more than fat, but there's so many other reasons that we don't need to even worry about the scale. I actually started my pregnancy with Lily 10 pounds heavier than my pregnancy with Cole, but I looked visibly leaner, much, much better overall, much stronger. The number on the scale simply doesn't matter. Throw the scale away, mail it to me. I will throw it off my roof and send you a video of the whole shebang. Just don't worry about the scale. It does not give you a good indication of the progress you're making toward your goals. And frankly, it's not a good motivator. So that's my quick little rant about the scale. Many clients say to me, this is the first weight loss program I've done where I'm not to do weekly check-ins. That is right. And there's a reason for that. I've been in the industry for a very long time and I have a method to the madness. All right, my next quick expectation is please keep me updated daily with your macro screenshots so I can ensure that you are eating enough of the right macros. I also want to be sure that we hear from you in regard to how the workouts are going and then also your daily win for the day. After this week, I will post once every day and it will say Monday macro update thread. And so what you do on that macro update thread is you post your screenshot from MyFitnessPal. I will post a video explaining how to do that screenshot and what I'm hoping to see in that screenshot. Tell me a little bit about how your workout went and share a daily win. That will be on a regular basis. The other quick expectation is please go ahead and post your questions on our group page. If you post it on the Facebook page, other veteran clients of mine who have actually gone through the program will have the opportunity to answer your questions. My Fast Way to Fat Loss coaches will have the opportunity to answer, and I'll be able to answer. Typically, if you have a question, a few other people in the group have the same question. So instead of sending me an email or sending me a message on Facebook, go ahead and post it on that Facebook page. Really important. And again, same thing goes for the coaches. Please don't be sending them messages all hours of the day unless they specifically ask you to. Occasionally you'll see Misty or Lindsay or a few others. They'll say, just send me a quick private message and we'll talk about that, off site. But that's kind of few and far between in regard to the number of times that happens. Last but not least, please stay positive and please have fun. Again, I'm going to be fire hosing you with information this week. We'll be doing a couple live trainings as we go through the program. I will be introducing a 24-hour fast or cleanse in weeks 4, 5, and 6 of the program. Week 3, I will do a live training with you to make sure you understand the reason that we're doing a 24-hour fast, how to really thrive through that 24-hour fast, which can kind of feel intimidating, but we'll go ahead and get on another live training call together, so do not even worry about that right yet. You will have the same food cycle each and every week besides that. So if you're a planner and you're looking at 3 weeks ahead of time and saying, okay, I'm going to be out of town, I'm going to be on this business trip, I'll be on this vacation, you can plan on the same food cycle in general, which is really helpful for those of you who want to look ahead and plug things into your calendar. All right, we are going to go ahead and answer some questions, so feel free to post those. And Brandon's going to go ahead and he'll kind of tag team with me since there's likely many, many questions, and we'll be sure that we cover as many as we can in about 5 to 10 minutes. And then I'll post the recording on the page later today, and we'll be answering questions through this week. Okay, so we start the eating today. Here's what I would do today, Sean, is I would simply stick with the list of approved foods. You are not obligated to try the food cycle today, meaning a low carb day, but I would go ahead and look at the list of approved foods in the comprehensive guide, which is basically a paleo plan. We're doing gluten-free, dairy-free. We are focused on veggies. That's probably the best case scenario for you if you're getting started today and it's your first round. Let's just kind of do a whole food nutrition type scenario. Feel free to try the workouts as well.
Do you
Okay.
need the premium version of MyFitnessPal?
You do not need the premium version. That's a great question, and I will address that on the training I do this week regarding MyFitnessPal specifically. Maureen says, I really want to join a gym because I work out harder when I do. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love being at the gym. I wish I could work out at home, but I need my mommy time away from the house. And I love being part of a gym. So, yeah, absolutely. Christine says, can we switch cycling days or workouts? Absolutely. This plan is meant to be very flexible. The goal is that you pair the right food log with the workout. So if you are like, okay, I have to do my low carb day on Thursday this week because I have something going on Tuesday, that's completely fine. Just be sure that you do the low carb day with the high intensity interval training. Many of you come to me and you're like, okay, I've been kind of dinking around the gym, or I've been throwing a DVD in, or I've been going on a walk, but I haven't been thinking through what am I eating and how does that relate to what I'm doing for a workout. So let's just make sure that we pair those together properly. Okay. All right. I see a lot of questions about breastfeeding. Here's the deal. Hopefully you guys are following me on Instagram at Amanda Tress. Lily is 10 days old. I have pumped probably 50 bags of milk in between.
Gallons of milk.
Gallons. He's actually getting really annoyed with our freezer situation right now. You will be absolutely fine with your supply through the Faster Way to Fat Loss, even as you cycle, even as you fast, but you've got to eat enough, you've got to drink enough during the feeding window. I am constantly drinking water. I am constantly eating during the feeding window. So be sure that you're bumping up on macros overall if you're breastfeeding. If you feel that your supply has diminished just a little bit by Wednesday after 2 low carb days, let's go ahead and bump up to the 100 grams of net carbs versus the 50. I have a few gals that are doing that and they've been absolutely 100% fine. I personally don't need to do that. I tend to produce a lot of milk, but I also, again, drink a ton, eat a lot of protein, a lot of fit fats. Intermittent fasting can actually help make your milk more fatty, which is better for babies overall because they sleep better, they have better brain function in general. So that's very exciting. I'm probably the only trainer who is promoting a fasted program while breastfeeding, but I've had so many clients, literally hundreds of clients, go through the program while breastfeeding and absolutely thrive. If you're already struggling with supply, I have a few tricks that I can teach you as well, including I drink a tea from Birds and Bees Teas called Our Lady of La Leche tea. It's phenomenal for increasing supply. And I have a few other tricks like that. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them on our page. I will be doing a blog post here really soon about increasing supply even while fasted or just in general if you are breastfeeding. All right. Tiffany, I was playing with my FitnessPal app and added the Cobb salad and the pork medallion with roasted broccoli, and it was way over on protein and fats. I was way over on protein and fats. That is a good question, Tiffany. So here's the deal. You will look like you're way over on fats on a low carb day, but the fact of the matter is you don't have to worry about the percentage of fats and protein on a low carb day. Your chart is going to look a little wonky. The main goal is that we have less than 50 grams of net carbs. We're going to have a consistent amount of protein through the entire week. So if the recommendation on a regular macro day is to consume 90 grams of protein, you're going to have 90 grams of protein on low carb day, 90 grams of protein on a regular macro day, 90 grams of protein on a low macro day. The entire week you're going to have that 90 grams of protein. You'll have more fats on a low carb day and less carbs. One really quick day that I forgot to address, which I want to address right now, is our low macro day. This day is where we rest. And we also have 25% less macros overall. So we have 25% less carbs, 25% less protein, 25% less fat than a regular macro day. For example, if you typically have 200 grams of carbs on a regular macro day, on a low macro day, we're going to go ahead and go 200 times 0.25 equals, and for whatever reason, I'm not able to pull up my calculator at the moment, but hopefully Brandon can help us out. You guys get, sorry.
iPhone updates.
Yeah, iPhones are updating. Okay, 200 times 0.25 equals 50. So on a regular macro day, we're typically having 200 grams of carbs. On a low macro day, we're having 150 grams of carbs. You do the same thing with protein and fat. But again, I wouldn't worry if you're like, oh my gosh, I have 100 grams of protein because I had that Cobb salad and had so much chicken. Either A, have a little bit less chicken, or B, it's no big deal because you're consuming good whole foods. That's really the goal. If we go ahead.
And you don't want to look at the total macros until the end of the day when you've input everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you only put in protein and fat, because you haven't had the carbs yet. So.
Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Tiffany, when I do the new training, the revised training about MyFitnessPal, hopefully the additional details I add will address that issue for you. But if you have more questions, please let me know. Okay, Todd says, for people who train jiu-jitsu and are kickboxing 2-3 times a week, will they need to change anything in regard to eating? That's a great question. Listen to your body. I wouldn't double up on workouts on those days. So in other words, I wouldn't do the faster rate of fat loss in addition to the jiu-jitsu workout. I would simply do jiu-jitsu. See how you feel. If you're famished by the end of the day or the next morning you're famished before breaking the fast, we might need to go ahead and bump up on macros overall. I would start by bumping up 5% across the board on macros, but let's kind of keep me in the loop on how you're feeling, and we'll go from there. All right, macros are individualized. Yes, they are individualized. And again, I'm going to be posting a training about MyFitnessPal and how to set those macros. So stay tuned for that. I'll probably film it later today or tomorrow, and then you'll have the opportunity to go through and set those macros, and we'll give you some feedback as well. Okay, workouts at home, Beachbody or Les Mills. That's okay. Here's the deal with Beachbody workouts. Many clients come to me with a suboptimal thyroid function because they have been overtraining with insane workouts and under eating with 21-day fix extreme over time, and they've broken their thyroid and they've caused adrenal fatigue. Beachbody workouts cause more problems for my clients than they solve. I have a method to the madness when it comes to the workouts. They're shorter than Beachbody workouts. They're less intense. It's probably better to go ahead and do my workouts versus the Beachbody. But if you cannot get outside because you're in Canada and it's freezing cold and you don't have stairs, and you don't have access to anything else, yes, you can do Beachbody workouts. Just be really cognizant of getting enough rest. Orange Theory, totally fine. Love Orange Theory. Okay, I can do the workouts at home and don't have any cardio machines. How do you suggest I do cardio portions? I live in Connecticut. I would do stairs if you have some stairs, or if you want to just do some of the Tabata workouts. Most of the workouts right now are circuits. So even though I'm doing them at the gym, I could easily do it at home because we're talking jump squats, we're talking different things. So if you want to do the circuits on a day where I call for simply sprinting, that's completely fine as well. You can pick and choose. Oh, jump rope is also great. Great idea. Shannon says, I signed my husband up for the men's group and he doesn't Facebook. No problem. He has access to the portal and all of the information via his mobile device. So it's okay if he's not on Facebook. A lot of our guys are the same way. And he can email. Yeah, he can email Brandon. All right. Wine and beer. I was waiting for that question. So thank you for that.
That's not the first time it came up already.
Okay. Here's the deal about alcohol. Alcohol is not going to make or break your experience through the faster way to fat loss. However, I have one group in particular who through the holidays, they were constantly asking about the wine and the beer and the alcohol. And I think half of them actually joined a second round, and many of them have committed that they're not going to have as much wine or beer for the second round, because here's the deal. It's okay if it fits your macros to have some wine, but I also want you to think through focusing on hydrating with water and the right types of liquids versus having more wine, because you're not going to have amazing results or really be able to dial it in if you're having alcohol on a daily basis. I would personally reserve alcohol for special occasions and leg days in lieu of your treat. I think that's probably the best case scenario. If it's a make or break and you're like, if I cannot have my glass of wine every single night, I'm not doing your program. Have your glass of wine every single night, but log it. Be sure that it fits your macros. Okay, Reva says, is Diet Coke an absolute no? It's an absolute no. Let's try to find something different. I've worked with so many clients over the past 15 years who are Diet Coke drinkers, and only after they eliminate the Diet Coke are we able to really lean out the midsection. So I would say an absolute no. All right, what about treadmills? What about treadmills? All right, speaking of beverages, does coffee break your fast? It does not break your fast. So anything that is under 50 calories does not break your fast. I'm drinking my coffee as we speak, so you're absolutely fine. If you're someone who puts creamer in your coffee, let's just be sure that it's under 50 calories. If you can transition to black, that's best case scenario.
Katie says LaCroix.
Absolutely. Yes. LaCroix is great. All right. What about Polar Water or LaCroix? Yep. Yes. Yep. And kombucha is great.
The comprehensive guide is in the portal, right?
The comprehensive guide is in the portal. MCT oil, completely fine if you want to do bulletproof. I tried to get into bulletproof when my VIP clients did a focus on keto, but I just cannot personally get into it, but totally fine. Do your clients typically have to cook and prepare 2 different meals for themselves and their family? I personally recommend that you try your very best to have the entire family eat the same meals. It took a bit of a process for us, but our kiddos now have the same meals that we do for lunch and for dinner. That has been really, really beneficial. Of course, they are having breakfast and they don't even notice that we skip breakfast, to be honest with you. I receive that question a lot. I don't want my kids to think I'm fasting or doing something extreme. My kids know that I'm only going to do what's best for my body and make, my body as healthy and strong and energized as possible. And they've never one time questioned, why are you not eating breakfast? I'll be drinking my coffee or water or whatever, when they're having breakfast. But yeah, I would definitely not do 2 separate meals if at all possible. Or maybe you have them eat, for example, spaghetti and meatballs, and you simply eat the meatballs. So that's, something that you could do as well. And we can talk through that on the group page. Okay, Rachel says, can we talk more about when we should break our fast each day? For example, on day 5. Okay, great question, Rachel. Thank you so much for asking that. Typically, we're going to maintain an 8-hour feeding window. And again, the purpose of fasting is so that our bodies can burn fat more effectively. Your body's either in one of 2 states at all time. It's either fed or fasted, and it's either digesting food or healing itself and burning fat. That's probably the most simple definition possible, but that is the fact of the matter. If we allow our bodies to be in a fasted state for longer, we're going to improve our immune system. We're going to burn fat around the midsection, et cetera, et cetera. Typically, my clients are breaking their fast around noon. The literal definition of the word breakfast is break fast. And our bodies are actually created to where we break our fast a little bit later in the day. We consume maybe 1 or 2 bigger meals, and then we allow our bodies longer for that fasted period. And when it comes to fat loss, it's all about the insulin response. We want to transition our body from being a sugar burner to now being a fat burner. Really, really important. Again, typically my clients are breaking their fast around noon, eating till about 7 or 8. On a low macro day, I personally, the minute I break my fast, I'm kind of get my appetite going. So I'll break my fast a little bit later, maybe around 2 or 3, and just have kind of those 1.5 or 2 bigger meals. But we're going to kind of ease in and get used to it. Maybe this week, if you're a first-time client, go ahead and test out breaking your fast later in the day. Break your fast around 11 or noon and just kind of see how you feel. Get your body used to that. We're going to slowly transition your body to being more used to the fasting. Drink tons of water, lots of bone broth, lots of kombucha, lots of herbal teas while you're fasted in the morning. You're welcome to drink BCAAs as well. But I'm so glad you asked about that, and I apologize, hadn't addressed that earlier. All right. If I work out right at noon, what should I be eating beforehand? Don't eat anything before the workout. It's actually better. You're going to maximize your fat burning if you work out fasted. I personally work out in the afternoon because it's typically when my mood's kind of dipping a little bit. So I work out in the afternoon just for that nice little energy boost and the mood boost. So I'm not personally super fasted when I work out, but it just works better for my schedule. But yeah, if you're working out right at noon, just work out fasted and then break your fast afterwards. All right. Yes, Trish, I sometimes work out in a fasted state, just depending on the days. Okay, Rhea, on days with strength training, if workouts are in the early AM, would you still break your fast around noon? Yes. So here's the deal. There's a lot of misinformation, myths, and confusion when it comes to what fuel you need for a workout. most of the time, the fuel that you're using is from like the day before if you're working out. So if I am going to do a leg day on a Saturday morning, I'm typically doing the workout fasted around maybe 10 or 11 on a Saturday morning specifically. Then an hour or two later, I'm breaking my fast. This actually is the best case scenario. Or if you're a morning person, you want to wake up, you want to do your sprints at 6 in the morning, and then you're not breaking your fast till noon. That's the best case scenario because we're burning fat for the next few hours. So that's actually, going to be very positive for us. There's a lot of confusion about you need to, have protein immediately after the workout and this, that, the other, but that's not the case. All right, where did you get the idea to intermittent fast and not eat breakfast? Yeah, that's a great question. She's like, where did we come up with this? Okay, so here's the deal. 2.5, 3 years ago, I had been working as a trainer for 10 years, working with clients through a paleo lifestyle focused on whole food nutrition, and frankly, preaching calories in, calories out, because that's what I was taught and that's what I was told to preach. But I was looking around and realizing that clients of mine were hitting plateaus. And I thought, gosh, there's got to be a better solution. There's got to be something we can do to continue accelerating the fat loss, to continue speeding up metabolism. I had longtime clients who had been grinding through workouts with me, eating clean, counting calories, and just not seeing results. So of course, I did tons and tons and tons of research, looked around, sought counsel, and started hearing about this concept of intermittent fasting. And I thought, well, this is crazy. I would never do anything like that because clearly your body's going to be in starvation mode, et cetera, et cetera. But after a few months, I was hearing more about it, seeing some research, and decided to test it with one of my clients who I'd been working with for 2 years. We had been in a plateau for months upon months. She had even run a half marathon with me, the whole thing. We tested intermittent fasting where we simply took her feeding window and shortened it. We didn't do anything different for the workouts. We didn't do anything different in regard to the quality of the food that she was consuming. She lost 16 pounds in 3 weeks. Yeah. After 3 weeks, she and I looked at each other and we said, we are clearly onto something here. I started trying intermittent fasting as well. It was able to heal my gut. I was able to stay more healthy. I had had strep 5 or 6 times that winter. After starting intermittent fasting, I didn't get sick with a cold for 2 years. I was like, gosh, we are on something here. I slowly started incorporating it into the online boot camps and then perfected the cycle over time. It's now been a full 2 years that I've been running the Faster Way to Fat Loss. And frankly, at first I got a lot of criticism, and many people in the industry were saying this is crazy. I pushed through it because I knew that I had something here. I developed a certification course for other trainers who wanted to learn about the science behind intermittent fasting. And just last week, that certification course was approved by a massive organization who has probably the best reputation in the fitness industry for personal trainers. It was approved as one of their certifications. So really, really, really exciting time in the marketplace for intermittent fasting and for the Faster Way to Fat Loss, because now all of the research is supporting this lifestyle versus the mini meals through the day where we're under eating, over exercising, killing our thyroid. And now thousands of people have amazing transformation stories. So very, very cool. Thank you. Thank you, Rhea. All right, guys, guess what? I do have to hop off, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste all of these questions. We will go ahead and post this particular training in your Facebook group page, and I will answer more questions through the day and through the week. And again, your main goal today is simply to introduce yourself and familiarize yourself with the comprehensive guide. It is a pleasure to work with each and every one of you. I am thrilled that you have joined the Faster Way to Fat Loss. Let's crush our goals in 2018. Let's make this your best year yet. So for me and Brandon and Miss Lily, who is currently, we wish you all the best, and we look forward to seeing you on our group page later today. I love you, ladies. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.